All right, so basically for me, I've always, and I don't know if this is for you, but when I do arms, and I think guys always talk about like having big arms, to me, the number one thing is like volume. Like I believe in like going up and down the rack, like 40, 30, 20, like not waiting. Like it's not like a back movement where you're trying to like lift really, really heavy and like put size and mass on in your back. For some reason, to me, for my arms and most of my clients' arms, it's like volume. Like just getting as many reps as you can, but also going up in weight and coming back down in weight.
I like that.
How about you? Are you a big supersetter, or what do you kind of do for arms?
Yeah, I love the supersets for arms in particular. Something about the contrasting muscles, like the push down and then the subsequent curl up.
Yeah.
It creates a crazy pump for me. So for arm day, I love it. I don't really superset on most of my other workouts, but for arm day, it feels great. So I love that feeling, like the high pace that you're talking about, no rest.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, is like getting that pump in there, getting the blood in there, but also just, like I said, not waiting. So I think you kind of are doing the same thing as I do. You do a lot of supersets. That's what I do too for arms. It's not like any other muscle. If I'm hitting chest, I'm taking time in between. If I'm hitting back, I'm taking time in between. For arms, it's kind of just like, all right, let's hit this, and then I'll start light and I'll kind of go up the rack, and then I'll come back and I'll be really, really heavy, and then I'll come back down the rack.
They call it pyramid, right?
Huh?
Pyramid?
Yeah, pyramided a lot of stuff. But I'm constantly trying to get as much volume and as much of a pump as I possibly can in that arm workout, For me, my arms are probably the one thing that grows the most on my body. It seems like for you, it's probably your chest. You have great arms too, but probably your chest.
Yeah, I mean, for taller guys, I feel like it's hard to fill out the limbs.
Yeah.
The arms, the legs especially, so I'm very chest dominant in my physique, but being a tall guy to yourself, like you got pretty good genetics for arms, but I would say like my arms, if I could add a little bit of mass to any part of my physique, it would probably be my arms.
Yeah. Well, that's what I tell people all the time. You want to get bigger arms? Trust me, this is what you want to do. You want to start off light, get the blood flowing, just kind of get in there. I'm really big on keeping my elbows pinned, so I'm not really like, you see a lot of guys, they'll kind of move their elbows a lot. I like pinning my elbows, keeping my elbows in the same spot the whole time. So I'll kind of start here, and I'll just move my way up, all the way up the rack. So go ahead and we'll have you start. So we'll go 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and then we'll probably come back down. There we go. Yeah, and like I said, I'm not big on like the big rests. Like 10, 15 seconds and then go.
Yeah.
For upper body, you usually want to wait, 45 seconds, a minute, depending on like your goal. If you're bulking, you might want to wait 3 minutes, right? They say scientifically that's the best time to wait, is about 3 minutes in between sets. For my clients that are doing shows, usually 45 seconds to a minute. Mm-hmm. And then on like an arm day, I'm like I said, I'm going. I'm trying to get as much blood in there as possible.
Do you find that in your clients that they can still build muscle and get results even if they're not in a traditional bulk phase, like a calorie surplus?
It's really, really hard to gain weight if you're not in a surplus. Just like it's losing weight, it's almost impossible, right? If you're not in a deficit of calories, you're not going to lose weight. If you're not in a surplus of calories, you're probably not going to gain weight. Now, if you have other supplements that you're taking, then that's a little bit different, right? You could probably still put on muscle even if your protein isn't where it needs to be sometimes. Sometimes the guys that are, not natural, you could put on weight and not eat a ton of food.
Yeah.
Like you could put 3,000 calories in. If you're working out really hard, you can still grow.
Yeah.
It's just different, But as somebody natural, no way.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I never really got any progress in strength or muscle development unless I was bulking. But I mean, naturally, it makes sense. It's not really a surprise.
Yeah. Well, people always tell me, they're like, oh, I'm not losing weight. I'm like, you're not in a deficit.
Yeah.
You're not burning the calories, or you're cheating, or you're having extra calories that you're not supposed to be having, right? All right, go. I'm gonna make you work today.
I like it.
Like I said, arms is different. It's not like every other muscle. I promise you, if you're having a hard time growing your arms, this is what you want to do. You want to push the intensity and keep going.
And you got to be willing to try stuff that you haven't done before, like shocking the muscle. I know so many people say that, but for me, that means switching up the grips, doing movements you haven't done before, different weights, different levels of intensity.
Oh yeah, like switching it up is super key. But I also believe like this is our first exercise. We're doing a compound movement.
Yeah.
I think like, you know, when you start off your exercises, always got to be a compound movement, right? So we want to be able to get heavy, and we want to be able to really move some weight here. And for me, it's a feeling, right? I'm not really picking reps. I'm not like trying to get 10 or 9. I'm just trying to get as many as I can. And then it's like everything's to failure for me. Everything's to failure when it comes to arm. Like I said, that's not how I train every other body part. But when I'm doing arms, you know, I'm really just trying to push everything to failure and push intensity as hard as I can.
I like that.
Is your next movement going to be a tricep movement, or are you going to go back to bicep? Are you going to stick to all biceps first?
Gotcha.
And then do triceps, or you can just kind of flip-flop them?
Yeah, I like alternating. It's something about the pump when you get the contradictory muscles that really feels amazing to me. So when I'm locked into my workouts, I'll do supersets. I'll usually start with the tricep first, get kind of like a push-down movement, and then immediately jump to the bicep portion of it, and then that'll be one set. So my arm workouts are traditionally just rounds of supersets for the entire workout. I guess I'm not a big fan of like separating it for something like that, because then when you finish your triceps, if you start with that 4 or 5 movements, you're going to be gassed for biceps and not really have the energy left in the tank for that.
So I think like when I do just biceps, it'll be like back and biceps day, right? Like I'll do a back day and then I'll hit some biceps and I'll just do biceps that day, and then the next day it might be chest and triceps, right? It's like the bro split, and then I'll just do chest and then I'll do a bunch of triceps. On arm days, if it's just arms that day, I flip flop. I'll go bicep, tricep, bicep, tricep. But then once again, I keep that pace. I keep making sure that the intensity's high the whole time.
I like that.